Hello my loves and welcome back to my hair channel. Today I'm going to be showing you 30 days worth of heatless hairstyles, and I'm going to be straight up with you guys and let you know that I didn't film each hairstyle over 30 days. I filmed this over a couple of days and literally ended up with over 3.5 hours worth of raw footage that I had to edit through to put this video together. If I did one hairstyle a day, this video would have been ready by the year 2020. I wanted to put this video together for those of you who want to minimize the amount of heat you use on your hair while still having your hair look cute. Going heatless is honestly the best thing you can do to your hair if you're trying to grow it out or revive it back to health. This video is also a great way to challenge yourself to go completely heatless for 1 month and use some or all of these hairstyles to help you get through. If you decide to do that, please let me know if you notice any changes in the health of your hair. I really want to know. So without further ado, if you want to see my 30 days worth of heatless hairstyles, please keep watching. For the first heatless hairstyle, you will need 2 bun makers and a spray bottle filled with water. If your hair is already a little bit damp from washing your hair, you can skip the spray bottle. All I'm doing now is creating a zigzag in my parting, and what this is going to do is create a little bit more volume at the roots once I take down my heatless hairstyle. In my spray bottle, I have mostly water, and I added about a tablespoon of this hair gloss serum by Earth's Nectar. Now I'm just dampening my hair, and I'm concentrating the mixture on the middle strands of my hair to the ends of my hair. Once my hair feels like it's about 20% wet, I'm going through with a brush just to make sure that I evenly distributed the mixture. Then I'm taking this section of hair and I'm tying it into a high ponytail on the top of my head. Once I have my ponytail, I'm taking one of the bun makers and pulling my ponytail through the bun maker and then splitting my ponytail into 2 sections and wrapping each section around the bun maker. So once you're done, you should have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing on the other side now. Once you have your 2 buns, you can either wear this around the house all day, or you can do it before bed and then wake up in the morning and remove the bun makers to reveal beautiful waves, or you can do what I did and just blast the bun makers with some cold air. I'm not using any heat whatsoever. I'm using only the cold setting on this T3 hair blow dryer. If you can, I would definitely recommend doing this before bed because I find that the results are much better. The waves are going to be much more defined, they will last longer, so if you can, either wear them throughout the day or do it before bed so you can reveal them in the morning. But because I was short on time and I had like a billion other hairstyles to do, I decided to blast it with cool air so the effect will not be the same. Another thing I like to do is style my fancy hair extensions without heat. I also like to do this at least 24 hours before I'm planning on wearing them. I use different heatless methods all the time, and this time I use flexi rods to style my fancies. And I'll show you how you can use these flexi rods to style your natural hair as well a little later in this video. So as you can see, when you let the hair sit for longer, you get a much more defined shape. And even though the texture doesn't match my natural hair texture right now, I'm still going to clip them in and show you how you can create a few different hairstyles with extensions and without. For the first hairstyle, I'm creating an easy half-up French twisted style. To create a French twist, you want to pick up a section of hair at the top of one side, split it into 2 strands, cross the strand that is closest to your face over the strand that is furthest from your face. Then you want to pick up hair from the outside of each strand, combine the hair with the strands, and repeat the previous steps of crossing the strand closest to your face over the strand that is farthest from your face. I'm repeating these steps until I reach my ear, and then I'm going to wrap the strands around each other a couple of times without adding in any hair, and then I'm clipping this section at the back of my head for now. Then I'm creating the same braid on the other side, and you want to make sure that your braids are long enough so that you can combine them and tie them together at the back of your head. I personally love creating this hairstyle on hair that is super textured because it gives it such a relaxed bohemian vibe, and I'm just obsessed. The next hairstyle is a super easy step that you can build upon on the previous hairstyle. So if you don't like the half-up style, what you can do is gather all of your loose hair into a ponytail at the nape of your neck and just tie it with a good strong hair elastic. And then I'm gently tugging on the 2 braids to lower the clear elastic all the way down to the main elastic to kind of cover it up, because then I'm going to take a small strand of hair from the underside of the ponytail and use it to cover up the main elastic, and then I'm just using a bobby pin to pin it in place. For this next hairstyle, I'm sectioning away all of the hair around my crown area and I'm clipping it up away in the meantime. Then I'm taking another section of hair at about my ear level and I'm taking this section and braiding it into a regular 3-strand braid and just tying it off with a small hair elastic. I'm also gently pulling out on the sides of the braid to make this braid thicker because I'm going to be creating another braid that I'm going to stack on top of it and I want this braid to peek through. So once I've done that, I'm releasing the hair on the top and I'm just braiding a regular Dutch braid. So if you don't know how to braid a Dutch braid, it's simply the same thing as a 3-strand braid, but instead of crossing the side strands over the middle strand, you want to cross the side strands under the middle strand. Once I finish braiding my Dutch braid, I'm just taking the 2 braids at the ends and tying them together with a small hair elastic and then removing these small hair elastics that are keeping each individual braid together. This way they meld together. This is one of my favorite ways to wear my hair when I don't want to use any heat. It's a classic French braid that can be created on natural hair, or you can add some hair extensions to add a little length, which is what I did. If you're going to be using extensions, you want to make sure that you don't clip them past your ears, otherwise they will be difficult to hide. So you want to start out by sectioning off some hair at the top and center of your head and split it into 3 strands. Braid a regular 3-strand braid and then every time you cross the side strand over the middle, pick up some hair from the outside of the strand you're working with and combine it with that strand. Then do the same thing on the other side. You're basically just repeating these same steps until you run out of hair to add into the braid, and once that happens, continue to braid a regular 3-strand braid and tie it off when you're done. After you finish braiding, you want to run your fingers over the back of your head to feel for any clips that might be peeking through and then reposition and re-clip them back into your hair to hide them. As you can see, clip-in hair extensions can give you a completely different look even if you're creating a simple hairstyle like this French braid. Let me show you how this French braid looks without hair extensions. For this next hairstyle, I'm clipping away the hair at my crown area and taking a section of hair underneath that and braiding a Dutch braid and pulling out the sides of the braid to pancake it out. Next, I'm releasing the hair I clipped away and taking a small section of that at the top of my head and braiding a French braid until I run out of hair from the top to incorporate into the braid. And then I'm continuing to braid a few times until the ends of the braid is long enough to reach the top of the Dutch braid. When that happens, I tie off the braid with an elastic and then create an opening at the top of the Dutch braid and pull the French braid through the front and out the back of the Dutch braid to create this cool braid within a braid effect. Here, I'm clipping away the hair at my crown area and taking a section of hair underneath that and braiding a regular 3-strand braid and pulling out the sides of the braid to pancake it out. Next, I'm releasing the hair I clipped away and taking a small section of that at the top of my head, and I'm braiding a French Dutch braid this time. A French Dutch braid is simply a Dutch braid that is attached to your head. That's what the term French refers to in braiding. So to create a French Dutch braid, you simply want to incorporate hair into the strand that you are crossing under the middle strand. I'm continuing to braid a few times until the end of the braid is long enough to reach the top of the 3-strand braid. When that happens, I tie off the Dutch braid with an elastic and then create an opening at the top of the 3-strand braid and pull the Dutch braid through the front and out the back of the 3-strand braid to create this cool braid within a braid effect. This is basically the same style as the previous hairstyle, but in the reverse order. The next hairstyle I'm going to show you is another heatless hairstyle that you can do after you've washed your hair, or you can dampen your hair a little bit with the same water mixture I showed you in the beginning of this video. All I'm doing is concentrating the mixture at the middle and ends of my hair and getting my hair about 30% wet. Then I'm throwing my hair up into a ponytail on top of my head and using these flexi rods to wrap sections of hair around the rods and bending the top and bottom of each flexi rod to keep the hair in place. You want to make your hair as smooth as possible when you're wrapping your hair around the flexi rods for the best effect. And again, I would highly recommend keeping these in your hair overnight so your hair has completely dried and had a chance to set for a much more defined wave or curl. But for this video, I used my blow dryer again on the cold air setting to help speed up the drying process. Also, if you guys were interested in getting these flexi rods, I got mine at Walmart and they were super inexpensive. Mine are by the brand Goody and I'm pretty sure you can get them on Amazon too. I'll pop a photo in here so you can see what they look like. I especially love them for styling styling my fancy hair extensions because they're so quick and easy to use, and they give my hair extensions so much shape and texture, which makes my braids look super chunky and boho looking, which I am absolutely obsessed with. So clearly I removed the flexi rods prematurely because my hair is still a little bit wet, as you can see, but if you remember how my hair extensions looked after I removed the flexi rods, that's the definition and shape you'll get if you keep them in overnight. I'll just have to settle with these messy beach waves for now, which I don't mind at all. So when my hair is very messy and beachy looking like this, my favorite way to play up the texture is with braids. This is a super easy half-up style that literally takes a minute to do, and all I did was take my hair around my crown area, brought it to the back, and braided a regular 3-strand braid. I also pulled it apart a little bit to add some thickness to it. Another way I like to style my beachy waves is by rocking a braided half-up style. This is one of my favorites, and all I'm doing is picking up a small section of hair from the top of one side, splitting the section into 3 strands, and braiding a one-sided French braid. So as you know, a classic French braid is when you combine hair from the outside of the braid into the strand of hair that you are crossing over the middle strand, and you're repeating this step on both sides of the braid so it sticks to your head from both sides. A one-sided French braid is the same technique, except only you want to add in hair to one side of the braid. In this case, I'm only adding in hair to the side of the braid that is parallel to the ceiling so that only the top part sticks to my head. I'm just repeating these steps until I reach the back of my head, and then I'm continuing with a regular 3-strand braid until I have a few inches left of loose hair, and then securing it with an elastic. Then I'm just going ahead and creating the same braid on the other side. This next one is one of my favorite ways to style my natural hair texture. All I do is braid a French braid along the side of my face up to my ear and braid a regular 3-strand braid until the braid is long enough to reach the back of my head, at which point I temporarily secure the braid with a clip. Then I braid the same braid on the other side and secure both braids together at the back of my head with an elastic. For this next hairstyle, I'm simply picking up the hair around my crown area, splitting the section into 2 strands, and braiding a fishtail braid. I have a step-by-step tutorial on how to braid a fishtail braid, so I will link it for you in the cards and in the description box if you want to check that out. I'm just braiding until I have a few inches of loose hair left at the ends, and then I'm tying it off with an elastic. It's super simple and looks great with hair that is naturally textured. This next one is for all of my lazy girls and boys who want the look of a French braid but don't have the time for it. This is my take on a lazy French braid. So what you want to do is start at the crown and separate 3 strands of hair. Cross the left strand over the middle, cross the right strand over the middle, cross the left strand over the middle, and then cross the right strand over the middle. Now add in a chunk of hair from the outside of the left strand and cross this entire section, including the left strand, over the middle strand. Repeat the same thing on the right side. Braid again for a total of 4 crossovers and repeat the previous steps with combining hair into the braid. When you reach the nape of your neck, you can either continue with a regular 3-strand braid, or you can tie off the hair at this point to create a cool braided ponytail like I did here. You've probably seen this next hairstyle all over Instagram being referred to as the Batty girl hairstyle, so I'm going to show you how to get the look. Most of the photos I've seen of this hairstyle have long, lush braids, but clearly my hair is not that long, so I'm going to use a few wefts of my fancy hair extensions to help me out. First, I separated my hair into 2 sections and clipped away one of the sections. Next, I'm parting my hair on the working section a couple inches above my ear so I can clip in my hair extensions into this area, and I'll have enough hair from all sides to hide the wefts. I'm clipping in 1 3-clip weft and then stacking on 2 2-clip wefts on top of that. Since no one will see these wefts, you can easily stack them, just make sure that they are secure. Now I'm starting to braid a Dutch French braid. Remember how to do that? I'm starting off by picking up a triangle-shaped section from the top of my working section and separating it into 3 strands. I'm crossing the side strands under the middle strand and incorporating hair into the side strands as I go. It's important to be aware of where your wefts are located so you can make sure you're always picking up hair around the weft so that the hair will hide them. You also want to braid on a bit of a diagonal in the beginning and then curve the braid as you get past your ear. When you run out of hair to add into the braid, continue with a regular Dutch braid and tie off the braid with an elastic when you're done. Then just repeat the same steps on the other side and you've got yourself a badass Batty girl hairstyle. The Batty Girl hairstyle also looks good on medium length hair, so here's that option without hair extensions. I've literally worn this next heatless hairstyle to death and won't stop now because it's so easy. All I do is tie my hair into a ponytail at the nape of my neck, split the ponytail into 2 sections, twist each section one way and wrap the sections around each other the opposite way to create a rope braid. You want to keep repeating these steps until you can't braid anymore and then wrap the braid around itself and pin it in place. This is one of my all-time favorite ways of styling my hair without heat, and if you can let your hair air dry with this method until your hair is completely dry and set, the effect is even better. So all I do is take small sections of hair and I'm dampening them with the same water mixture and then spraying a little bit of hairspray on them. Again, you can also do this on freshly washed hair that is about 30% wet. Then you want to wrap the section of hair around your 2 fingers and then use a crocodile clip to keep it in place. Sometimes you might need to use 2 clips from either side depending on how big the section is, so keep an eye out for that to make sure your hair doesn't fall out of the clip. I'm just repeating the same steps all over my hair and alternating the directions of the way I wrap my hair around my fingers so I can get a more boho beachy vibe rather than uniform waves. So once I finish clipping up all of my hair, I'm going to take a quick swig of my coffee because gosh darn I need it, and then I'm air drying my hair with some cold air from my blow dryer again to speed up this process, and then once I've got my hair as dry as possible, I'm removing the clips to reveal these beautiful voluminous waves. This next one is another super easy hairstyle that looks great on naturally textured hair, and it's a super easy half-up Dutch braid. Need I say more? This is another trendy hairstyle that looks great on pretty much everyone. All I'm doing is gathering all the hair around my face and crown area and tying it into a high ponytail and looping the ponytail through the elastic about 1 inch on the last pull through. Then I'm taking the ponytail and wrapping it around the little loop and pinning the hair down to create a cute little top knot. If you're having a really bad hair day and want to try something that will hide all of your hair and doesn't require heat, you'll want to try this next hairstyle. Section your hair in half and tie both halves up into a high ponytail like this. Then twist each ponytail one at a time and wrap it around the base and pin in place with bobby pins. This hairstyle is a totally 90s look that's super cute and completely heatless. Another one of my favorites is to tie half my hair at the back of my head, twist the loose hair and wrap it around itself at the base and pin it in place to create a beautiful little half-up bun style in 30 seconds. This is one of my go-to heatless hairstyles on those days where my hair is starting to look like it's ready to be washed. It's this French Dutch braid. I've already shown you guys how to braid a Dutch braid, so this is the same technique and you want to braid until you run out of hair to add into the braid and then continue with a regular Dutch braid until the ends. Another variation on the Batty Girl style is to braid 2 French braids instead of 2 Dutch braids. This look is a little less edgy but still just as cool and I love it. Another way you can hide greasy roots or dirty hair is by gathering all of your hair into a high ponytail and pulling the ponytail through the last tie about 1 inch and then wrapping the loose hair around the loop to create a top knot. Pin the top knot in place with bobby pins and you've got another heatless hairstyle to stretch you to the next day. This is a super easy heatless hairstyle that doesn't require any braiding. All you want to do is gather a chunk of hair from one side of your head, tie it with an elastic, create an opening above the elastic, and pull the ponytail through the front and out of the back of the opening. This trick will create a little twist. Repeat the same steps on the other side for a half-up style in 30 seconds. You can also build up on the previous hairstyle by gathering all of the loose hair and tying it into a quick and easy pony. Another super fast heatless half-up style is to gather the hair around the front of your head and tying them together one time at the back and securing them with an elastic to create this faux knotted braid that looks a lot harder than it actually is. You can make a braided ponytail look a little extra special by just separating your hair into two and braiding a rope braid like I showed you earlier in this video. It's a super easy braiding technique that just makes everything look 100 times better in my opinion. And of course, you can always go back to the basics and braid just a regular 3-strand braid, which is another one of my go-tos that never, ever, ever fails me. And that, my friends, is 30 days of heatless hairstyles to take you from the beginning to the end of the month without resorting to heat styling tools. I really hope you guys enjoy this video and will try out some of these looks yourself. If you decide to challenge yourself and go heatless for 30 days, please, please, please let me know how it works out for you. Personally, for me, going heatless is the only thing that helps my hair get back to health, so I really hope this video will help you guys out. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. You can also follow the Fancy Hair Instagram account for daily hair inspiration and fancy hair news, and you can also follow me on my personal account so we can chat and connect outside of the tube. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in my next one.